In this video, I'm going to talk about 4 ways to increase your credit scores immediately. Like you'll definitely see the reflection in 30 days. My absolute number one and favorite conversation topic is going to be credit cards. Paying off credit card balances. Now, I always teach to pay it off in full, zero balances, like zero it out, never have to receive a letter, never have to receive anything that says you owe anything. There's nothing to forget. Oh, I forgot to. No, because it's at zero. Okay. Now, the reason why I always teach to zero is because you want to have the maximum benefit of your scores being extremely high as they possibly can. And so a lot of times when we have credit cards that are aged, some 6 months, 12 months, even older than that, when those balances are zero, those scores can easily be 750 plus. Okay, so when you start using them, you'll start seeing how those balances will start reflecting your scores. So I always teach to zero because you want to have the maximum benefit of those scores being really high. Now, a lot of kickback that I get from clients is if I pay it off to zero, then they're going to close, they're going to close my account. So this is the thing. When you've had a card over 12 months, that means you've established a relationship of 12 months. You don't have to use the card but once so often, maybe once a year, once every 2 years. It kind of depends on the type of card that you have. If you've had the card, no. Most credit card companies, not most, credit card companies, period, will close the card from anywhere from 18 months to 36 months due to inactivity. So if you never use it for 18 months or never use it for 36 months, if you've had it longer than 12 months, then they will give you that grace period of time. All right, so it's 18 months really for the department store cards, TJ Maxx, Burlington, Dillard's, Macy's, sort of like that. Those department store cards, 18 months. Now, major credit cards, Macy's, I'm sorry. The major credit cards, American Express, Visa. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, not Macy's. Visa, MasterCard, those will give you 36 months. So I typically have January as my month in the year. I go 12 months and I start using my cards in January. Actually, there's one card that I use for the cashback rewards, but the balance is typically zero. All the other cards that I have, maybe like a Macy's or a Dillard's or a TJ Maxx or American Express, the ones that I don't typically use often, I would use them every January. So if I'm using them every January, January's always been my month, but I'm doing maybe $30 here and there. But let's go back to the start of the video. All right, the 4 ways. The number one is pay those balances in full. You'll get the maximum benefit, okay? So the other myth was if I don't have any interest on my account, it doesn't look good and it's not going to increase my score. So who wants to pay $40 for gas, but when interest kicks in, really paying 60, 65 for, no, we're not, no. I'm not trying to pay more than what I should be just because I want some interest so I can make a credit card company happy. No, that's not a myth. That's true. So if you keep them at zero, test it yourself. A lot of us have never had a balance at zero and didn't touch it. Now that's older than 12 months. Now, if you just got a card within the first 12 months, typically you want to use it, I would say every 3 months, once a quarter. Every 3 months, once a quarter, use it. $20, $30 just to kind of get it to start over, show some usage. I would never recommend that you max it out because that's going to kind of get the impulse to be able to pay it off. And if you don't have it, then your scores will be extremely low. So the purpose of this video is to tell you exactly how you can increase your scores immediately, and it has everything to do with these credit cards. That's the revolving account section. That's where we miss it the most. That's where we abuse it the most. Those revolving accounts, okay? So credit cards, balances to zero, you get the maximum scores, okay? The second thing, I got my trusty note. All right, so the next thing is, once your TransUnion score has gotten to a minimum 620, and the reason why I say TransUnion is because typically when you go for a credit increases, which is the number two reason I'm giving you today, when you go for these credit increases, they will pull from the TransUnion. It's typically a soft pull. Some companies do a hard pull, but check with them first. But the 620 TransUnion, you want that to be the minimum score because that will pretty much guarantee the increase. Some companies, I want to say Bank of America and Chase, I've kind of seen where they want it to be a 680 or a little bit higher in order to get a credit increase. However, majority of them 620. So now, minimum 620 TransUnion score. The second thing is ask for a credit increase. So when you get a credit increase, that gives you more buying power and it increases that score. That's number two. Number three, add more active and open trade lines. Okay. All right. So you're going to add more active and open trade lines. It can either be an unsecured card where the bank is giving you the money. It can be a secured card where you put your money on the card, or it can be a credit builder account that that acts as a trade line that gets put on your account. It's an actual account that gets put on your credit report, and they charge you $5 to $20 a month for it. Kickoff, Kovo, those type of things. And I'm going to have a link in my description. It's a credit builder link. And it's going to be where you click on the link, you'll see 12 different accounts that you can add as trade lines to increase your score. So that's point number three. You can increase by adding active and open trade lines, and that will allow the score to go up as well. The fourth thing. All right. Okay. So the fourth thing that you want to do when you want to increase your credit limit is when you pay the card completely off, you want to pay it off in 2 days. So that means if you made a purchase on a Monday, 2 days later, it's going to post to the account. So on that Wednesday, pay it completely off. That way you don't have to worry about interest. You don't have to worry about any bills coming to your mail, because if you wait till the due date, you've already incurred interest and you've already allowed that balance to be reported to your credit bureaus. So if you have a $300 limit and you spent $150, which is 50% of usage, and you say, well, I always pay it off, when the bill comes. So when the bill comes, it's already been reported. So that's $150, which is 50% of your usage, which is above the 5 and 10%. It's gonna have that score low. So I never teach to, for one, have more than $30, just in case you happen to be out of town or something, or you forgot to pay it in the 2 days, or life happens in 2 days. It's not going to reflect negatively on that score. However, whatever amount that you use on that credit card, when it posts in 2 days, make sure it's paid then, because you do not want it to generate a bill, because that bill is going to show on your credit report that balance that you owe, and that's going to keep the credit scores low. So that's going against increasing the score. So that's number 4, pay the bill off completely, because that increases the score. Quick summary, number 1, pay off credit card balances, zero. We want no limits. We want no balances whatsoever on them, because that gives the maximum score. Number 2, you want to be able to, ask for credit increases. Yeah, you want to always ask for credit increases. 3, add active lines of credit. And number 4, when you pay it off, number 1, when you pay it off in 2 days. So that's going to make sure that that balance never gets reflected on the score, and that will nicely increase that score. That's how you increase your scores immediately. Thanks for watching.